This is Chapter 4 in a story of a secret Facebook group that branched off from the Justice for Micah group. They claim to be pro-truth, and while they don't want to admit they are pro-John Paul, they can't deny they are anti-Francis family, anti-protester, anti-anyone who thinks differently than they do. Now on to Chapter 4. Weena, did it all go wrong? This is going to simply be an informative video. No snark, no humor, just information that is important to this story. I promise I'll be funny in Chapter 5. When Weena started in the Justice for Micah group, she was pro-Micah, pro-Micah's family, and made supportive comments about them. Her posts in general were lighter and more positive. Something happened in July. Her comments and posts became more anti-Francis family and increasingly negative. I'm sharing her comments because of how starkly they portray her dissent. Here are her comments in chronological order. I might add a clarifying statement to the beginning of some of the comments, but otherwise, these are her exact words. This is interesting. Her sister Anna said she reported him to the IRS a few days before. She filed for divorce and she got a protection order and reported him to the IRS. She had just paid her lawyer to start divorce proceedings. All of these things that could have put John Paul Miller over the edge. It would be interesting to know who all was donating this much to the church funds. Millionaires in politics and churches. I suppose it can happen, but when it does, I think it needs to be scrutinized and investigated. From abuse to corruption, this story may be much bigger than we realized. About John Paul. He's spinning his narrative, but he's made the mistake of admitting to the things he did on video. He can make his wife feel like she's going crazy, but he can't fool the world with his half-truths, lies, and manipulation. It's much easier to abuse someone when the whole world isn't watching. I put together a bunch of clips from the interview with Anna Francis talking about seeing Micah for the last time. It's so hard to watch, but I think it's important for everyone to know that Jay Pinocchio made things extremely difficult for the family. I think it was way over the top normal behavior for him, and I think he was trying his best to distract them from the more important issues they should have been able to focus on, like getting a second opinion before cremation and getting the opportunity to really say goodbye to Micah. He had all of the control, and he wasn't giving any of it up to her family. I can't even fathom what they went through and are still going through. I don't even care about the date on the invoice. Jay Pinocchio thinks it's fine to tell the world he paid for the cremation urns and jewelry and then throw it in the family's face. He can't do anything good without making himself look bad. Yes, it's estranged wife, not wife. I've been blocked twice. Whoever True Crime Re is, they are blocking people who say anything negative about JPOS and his videos. I don't know who it is, but they sure are defending him by blocking many who say negative things about him. I'm thinking they're worried about losing his videos. She claims she called him and asked if he wanted to give his side. Must be nice because she's, meaning Micah, not here to give her side. John Paul's right-hand woman at the church, Trisha Ross, made a post about being abused. Weena commented, "To me, this has guilt and excuses written all over it. She's feeling guilty because she's not acknowledging that Micah was abused by JP, and she's trying to excuse herself from being wrong and choosing to side with JP. Nope, plenty of people have been in and still are in abusive relationships and would have helped Micah and not sided with her abuser." On John Paul calling up a content creator, she said, "She's giving him attention and he's going to try to manipulate and play games, and she's going to put him in his place. I doubt he will get away with any of his BS with her. She will hold him responsible for his words and actions. I don't think she will accept that the family is responsible for anything to do with Micah's death, which is what he claims. I do think that she's going to find that he has zero empathy for anyone but himself. It's always going to be all about him, and there's no help for anyone who refuses to take responsibility for their words or actions. Therefore, he doesn't care about Micah's family and what they're going through. Pray for him if you want to, but I think an exorcism is the only thing that will help him." This is around the time that Weena joined the hidden Facebook group, and also the time her comments began to change. She posted a link to a post by that same content creator and wrote, "Check out this BS," and a comment about John Paul. Not that it wasn't difficult dealing with her mental illness, but I find it very hard to believe he's Mr. Innocent. His abuse definitely didn't help, and why would she want to do anything he wanted her to do if he was being abusive? Such a mess. I don't put Micah on a pedestal at all. I think she had major mental health issues too. I just don't think she was abusive or had the same issues as JP. So many have said such good things about her. I don't know. I wasn't there, and I really don't know how they acted behind closed doors. About the protesters. All they do is scream justice for Micah over and over. It's nauseating. She blocked me for taking up for True Crime Re. About Micah's family. They're not being honest with the public. I'm arguing back and forth, and everyone is under the impression that this family and Micah were perfect little angels with zero problems. It's so frustrating. About one of Micah's sisters. She's on there talking about how you're not supposed to talk about people who do you wrong because God will handle that. Yet that's all that family has done. Hypocrites. These people are fools. They want to say she didn't need meds because the family says she didn't, but in the same token, they're saying she needs meds because of JP's abuse. So what was it? Did she or didn't she need meds? Seems to me the sensible conclusion is she needed her meds. And again about the same content creator. A woman with a mouthful of scripture and a heart full of hate. She goes after anyone who tells the truth. The family said one thing in public and another in private. They never once went out to protest for Micah, but had no problem asking others to. I think it shows that Micah wasn't the angel everyone thinks she was. She was capable of doing things that were considered irresponsible and vengeful. It makes me wonder what else we don't know. I think it's obvious from those comments that Weena completely changed her opinion on the case, and it only took her a month or so. What made her devolve from someone who was supportive of Micah's family into someone who was spitting poison at them and anyone who didn't agree with her, and in such a short time? Did joining the group allow her to be her true self? Or is she inherently a good person but was somehow led astray? I even questioned if Weena was even a real person. I thought maybe it was John Paul or one of his friends or family members using a fake name. But I've researched Weena. She's real. I've learned her full name. I know that she lives in the Northeast. She wears glasses. She's into healthy eating. She's 56. Weena's comments matched the narrative pattern of several others in the group. The group devolved into post after post of vitriol for the protesters, the Francis family, and for anyone who thought differently than they did. But why? We'll answer that in another chapter. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back soon.